Hello everyone, welcome to Programming in Your Hands. We'll be seeing about for loop. Now, coming to for loop, why do you go for looping is already that we have seen. It executes a particular statements for a certain period of time. So the same case is with the for loop. In a for loop, you can see that you have an initialization part, a condition part, increment or decrement part, and inside the body you have statements. So this particular statement will be repeated based on the condition and the increment. Okay, so we'll see how it works. This is the flow chart. So now you are initializing. Maybe I am giving I equals 0. Now it goes to the condition and checks for the condition whether I is less than 5. Now if the condition is true, if I is going to be 1, if the condition is true, it enters inside the code block, that is inside these statements. And what happens? It next increments. If not, it increments and then it again goes and the loop continues again. Now if the condition is false, what happens? It comes out of the loop. And this is about the for loop. So you have to remember there will be an initialization part, there will be a condition to check, and there will be an increment or a decrement part. And inside, if the condition is satisfied, it will enter inside the statement. Okay. Now coming to for loop. Okay. We'll see some examples about for loop. Now as all of us know, you have to start with hash include IO stream. IO stands for input, output. Now you have using namespace std. You have your main program. Your compiler comes to this part first. Now inside that you have a for loop. You have not initialized I with any data type before. So what you are doing is you can initialize inside. So you are having your data I which is equal to 1, which has a data type integer. So now inside the for loop you are using int I equals 1. This is my initialization part. And now next comes the condition. This 1 is less than 3. Now based on the flow chart, the condition is satisfied, right? 1 is less than 3. Now where does it go? If the condition is satisfied, it automatically gets inside the loop. Now what will be the output? You can see value of I will be printed as such because it is printed within the double quotes. Now you have written I. I means the value of I will be printed. What is the value of I? It is 1. So 1 will be printed. Okay. Now we have given endl, which means it comes to the next line. Now it sees the closing bracket. When it sees the closing bracket, it starts incrementing. Once it increments, what is I plus plus? I equals I plus 1. So when it starts incrementing, now my I becomes 2. So now again, after my I value has become 2, now it checks for the condition again. 2 is less than 3. Yes, the condition is again satisfied. Now if the condition is true, where does it go? Yes, it goes inside this loop. Now you can see cout double quotes value of I. Now you can see your output value of I. Now here when it comes here, the value of I, what was the value of I? 2. So the 2 will be printed. And then it sees the closing bracket. Now it increments. Now your I becomes 3. When your I becomes 3, now it checks for the condition. 3 is less than 3. The condition becomes false. So it comes out of the loop and comes to return 0 and my program ends here. So this will be your output. This is a simple example for you to understand. So here in this particular video you can see all simple programs. Later on we will be introducing some tough programs. Okay. So now coming to sum of natural numbers. Okay. How do you have to do? Again, sum of first 10 natural numbers. Okay. So now int I if you are not giving int I here, I can give my int here. Sum equal to 0. Sum is an integer. Okay. Now there is a for loop. Initialization part where I equals 1. Then a condition. Condition is I should be lesser than or equal to 10. Now incrementation part. Fine. Now I equals 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. So where does it go? Yes, it gets inside this loop. Now see out I. What is the value of I? 1. Very good. So 1 will be printed. Now you have slash t. What is slash t? A tab space. Okay. Now coming to the next line, you are saying that sum equals sum plus I. Already you know the value of sum, that was 0, and you know the value of I, which is 1. So 0 plus 1, it becomes 1. Now it sees the closing bracket. Now where does it go? Does it come to the next line? No. Now where does it go? It increments. Okay. So now my I changes its value to 2. Now it checks for the condition again. 2 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, condition is satisfied, so it gets inside the loop. Similarly, until this condition is becoming false, what happens? This loop keeps on continuing. So until my I equals 10, this loop gets continued, and it actually stores the value of sum also. So now because this sum is inside the loop, it will be stored in its memory as 55, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 together when you add, it becomes 55. Now it sees the closing bracket. When my I equals 11 now, 11 is less than or equal to 10. No, the condition is not satisfied. Now will it get inside the loop? No, it comes out of my loop, and here is your next line. So see out the sum is. So the sum is, what is the value of my sum? 55 will be printed. Hope you understood this program. Fine. So this is the sum of the first 10 natural numbers. Suppose if I am telling you I want the sum of first 5 natural numbers, what is the change that you have to do? Yes, you have to change this 10 to 5. That's all. Okay, so simple, right? Fine. Coming to the next simple program. Okay. So now the output expected is, you have to display numbers from 15 to 20 using a for loop. Okay, we'll see. So now 15 to 20, I am starting my I value as 15. Okay, and my ending value is 20. So I am writing, my condition has to check until it is 20. Okay, so now I have to just print the value of I. That's all. So what is my value of I? I. So my first step, I equals 15. 15 is less than or equal to 20. Yes, the condition is satisfied, so it gets inside the loop. Now what will be printed as my output? Value of I. And what is the value of I? 15. So value of I 15 will be printed, and the next output will come to the next line. Okay. Now it sees the closing bracket. What does it do? Yes, it increments. Now my I becomes 16. Now it checks for the condition. 16 is less than or equal to 20. Yes, condition is true. It gets inside the loop. Value of I, 16, will be printed. Next it sees the closing bracket. Where does it go? Yes, it increments. Now 17. Similarly 18, 19, 20. So until it is 20, it will get inside the loop and print value of I, and the value of I, that is 20, will be printed. Now it sees the closing bracket, it increments. Now the value of I is 21. Is 21 less than or equal to 20? No, the condition is false. So it comes out of the loop. So this is my output, value of I 15. So I have displayed the value from 15 to 20. Suppose I am telling you to display the value from 1 to 100. What will you do? Yes, you will have to use 1 here, and just you will have to use 100. That's all. It executes. Okay. So hope you understood for loop, and we have simple program, one more program, that is using arrays. It is very, very important that you need to know array. Okay. So now using the concept of array and for loop. Fine. Now you have a variable which is named as ARR. Fine. So now I am using, this is an empty bracket. Here inside you can give 5, you can give more than 5. Why? Because this will be ARR of 0. This will be ARR of 1. This is ARR of 2. This is ARR of 3. This is ARR of 4. So I can have my value as 5 because it ranges from 0 to 4. Suppose even greater than 5 also you can have inside, you can write inside this particular subscript, inside this square bracket. But if you are writing 2 here, then you will not get your output because the array index, it doesn't satisfy the condition. Okay, because you have how many numbers here? 5 numbers. Fine. Okay. So now coming into your for loop, int I equals 0. I is less than 5. So 0 is less than 5. The condition is satisfied. So it gets inside the loop. ARR of I. What is the value of I? 0. That will be printed. What is my ARR of 0? Yes, 1. ARR of 0 is 1. So 1 will be printed as my output. Next it sees the closing bracket. I will be incremented. So I becomes 1 now. So what is, when 1, the condition will be 1 is less than 5. Is the condition true? Yes. So it gets inside. And now see out ARR of 1. What is ARR of 1? This is ARR of 0. This is ARR of 1. So 2 will be printed. So similarly it increments. ARR of 2, ARR of 3, ARR of 4. So till 5 it will be printed. Now after that my I becomes 5. So 5 is less than 5. Is the condition true? No. So it comes out of my loop. So my output would be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. This is a simple concept to understand array, how you use array. This is initialization of array. Okay. So hope you understood arrays too. Thank you. Wait for more videos. Subscribe for more.